friends. Welcome to today's episode of We Are Marketing Happy, a healthcare marketing podcast. I am your host, Jenny Bristow. I am the CEO and founder at Hetty and Hop. We are a full service, fully healthcare marketing agency. And today we're here to talk about the digital patient journey, specifically about mapping success. We have had a very large number of conversations in the last few weeks with systems and providers across the country who are wanting to redo their website. They're wanting to make the digital front door easier for patients to access, make it easier for folks to be able to find them online. But the problem is, a lot of these folks do not have budget approval to move forward with a full website redo. So, what we're doing is really coaching them and helping them kind of build a bridge. You don't always need a complete website redo in order to improve the digital patient journey. There's a lot of interim steps that you can do revolving around technology implementation and content strategy that can really help you move that project forward and move patient access forward without necessarily having the budget or time to commit to a large website redo. Now, I will be the first to say that sometimes it is time to redo your website, right? Sometimes your website is outdated. Sometimes it's not mobile friendly. Sometimes your information architecture is a disaster because it's been just Frankensteined over the last how many years, and you really need to clean it up, right? So, this is not an episode saying don't redo your website. This is really an episode saying, friends, if you cannot redo your website until 2025 or beyond, then here are some things that you can do in the interim to help really improve that patient journey. So let's get started. So, first, I have an assignment for you. While you're sitting at your desk, whether it's at a home office or actually in the office, take some time and write down your primary service lines. Perhaps you have an organizational strategic plan where there are certain service lines that you're really wanting to drive patient volumes or improve patient access. Write those down. Then take your cell phone and only your cell phone, go to your car in your driveway or your parking lot and try to find that. Try to find each service line individually. Pretend you are a patient and you just walked out of an appointment with, let's say, a primary care provider, and they said, hey, you need to go follow up with a cardiologist. Here are some recommendations, but you also can go, to somebody else that you find online, whatever it may be. And you're on your cell phone trying to find it. Spend some time and actually understand what that experience looked like. Do not use your own brand name, organizational name. Instead, use your service line name. Again, let's say it's cardiology or dermatology or whatever it may be. Use near me phrases in Google, like you're actually searching and trying to find something or a provider that you could book an appointment with. Really put yourself in that patient's headspace about what they would be Googling to try to find a provider to book an appointment with, and map your journey. Figure out, number one, do you show up on the first page? Are competitors showing up above you? Do competitors have more reviews than you do? Etc. Just take note of the overall experience. And that is a really great starting point. Just understanding the landscape through the lens of a patient trying to find care. So that's the first assignment. And then you want to step back and we want to remember a couple of things, friends, right? First of all, 88% of appointments are still booked by phone. We want it to be online. We want that fancy find an appointment button to work. But right now, still only 2.5% of appointments are booked that way. So while as an organization, you may want to get to the point that you're offering that solution, and I strongly recommend it if your EHR, allows you to integrate that way, absolutely, let's focus on doing that. But you don't have to start there. We can still improve things for patients, and 88% of those folks are going to prefer to call as of today anyway. So the first tip that I'd give you as you're kind of digesting all of the search results that you saw and where you may or may not have shown up is to really thinking about optimizing for micro moments. Think about those search terms you typed in. Let's say, for example, you're focusing on dermatology. Was it just dermatologists near me? Think more about symptoms or other search friendly terms. Maybe like weird mole. How can I get a weird mole checked near me, right? Like you need to dig into your search terms with your SEO team member on your team, or, go and just explore using some tools like SEMrush to really understand what people are searching for. it isn't always going to be the big picture service line or physician title terminology. For example, with cardiologists, we actually found that folks very rarely use the term cardiology. They searched for heart doctor, which really pained those cardiologists to hear that. But we have to show up where the user is searching and where they are showing up. So number one, optimize for micro moment. Number two, simplify the path, reduce the friction, right? So let's say you were able to find your website in those search results while you're sitting in your car and you were able to click through the service line page. How many clicks did it take you to actually get to where you could call to schedule an appointment? Figure that out. And then figure out within your existing website ecosystem, how can you make that shorter? Is it something as simple as adding a call to action button, call now to schedule an appointment, or click here to schedule an appointment if you can offer that? So sometimes as easy as kind of thinking about your content through the lens of creating shortcuts could be really beneficial. Next, I'd really recommend for you to go beyond your website, right? If we're trying to really improve patient volumes here, it doesn't have to be your website. In fact, a large percentage of folks will never even visit your website. They'll either click on your Google local business listing or other online directories that are listing providers. So make a note of while you're doing those searches, what other websites showed up that were online directories that you can be listed in. A lot of organizations and we do as well, offer overall web visibility optimization services. So it's not just your own website, it's also making sure your organization and providers really are showing up where they need to on third-party directories. And then finally, I would say really think about mobile first. If you're on your cell phone in your car and it says call here to schedule an appointment, is functionality built into your website where you can actually click and it will call? Or do you have to like copy and then go to your phone to call and then call? These are really simple dev tweaks on the back end that can really improve the ability for folks to leverage that information from their cell phone. So go through and make note of that. Are there simple things that we can do from a development and content perspective to be able to shorten that journey, make it easier on a mobile device to be able to call to schedule an appointment? Things that you can do within your own ecosystem today that are not necessarily going to be the budget or timeline of an entire website redo. And then the last thing that I would share, something to consider, is spend a little bit of time doing a competitor deep dive. Again, we're not necessarily looking at like what social media platforms are they on? What's their content strategy? We are only thinking about digital patient journeys. How are folks able to find them online and schedule appointments for those same service lines? Because I guarantee if I am trying to find a dermatologist appointment and they have 300 plus 5-star reviews and your organization only has 8 because you haven't spent the time or energy on it, they're going to get my phone call. And so really make note of that. Within each service line, it may be a different lift that you need to do. Some may be more review oriented, some may be more, content and just access oriented to show up in those search engine results. So make a list of kind of what you need to focus on per service line so you have a little bit of a direction versus trying to do the same level of energy across all of the different service lines. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, sometimes doing a completely new website is the right move. A lot of the folks we've chatted with recently haven't redone their website since pre-COVID, and there are a lot of improvements and changes that need to happen, in which case, awesome. But if you are struggling to get organizational buy-in, if you're struggling to get the budget approved to move forward with that, do not think that you can't improve your digital patient journey and front door experience. So hopefully these tips helped. As always, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we will see you on a future episode of We Are Marketing Happy. Cheers.